Hello there, it's Cindy Ingram, and today we are on the second to last video for the Art Around the World series for the summer. It is July 28th, 2023, and today's artist comes to you from Scotland, and it's actually an artist duo. One of them, I believe, is from Canada, but lives in Scotland, and the other one they're both based out of Glasgow. So let's take a look. Your screen. Okay, so delightful. So that's the theme of this week. This is the mood I want on my art to be. This week is delightful, playful and colorful and fun. And you notice the last few days, that's what it's all been about. This artist duo is Lesley Barnes and Ross McAuley. And they're both artists individually, and then I think they might be partners in real life. I'm not sure, but they're definitely art partners. And they created this type of sculpture called the Bauhaus Ballet. My words aren't coming out right. It's like I'm second guessing them as they're coming out of my mouth. These are wooden sculptures that are inspired originally by Lesley Barnes's YouTube journey, where she discovered Triadic Ballet by Oskar Schlemmer, who was a painter, sculptor, designer, and choreography. You can see here that he was born in 1888, and then he was a professor at the Bauhaus school. So I have the sound turned off, but I want to just kind of show you some of these. I'm going to let it play here. Maybe you can make it a little bit bigger. So it's these sort of this dance, but with these figures in these costumes with very basic shapes, spheres and cylinders, cones. And I'll just kind of click ahead to get, there was one part I really wanted you to see. But the artist, Lesley Barnes, was really captivated by it, by the simplicity of the design. She said she's always been interested in sculptural fashion. And this inspired her to work with someone else to create a book, a pop-up book called Bauhaus Ballet. And she did the illustrations for that book. And then oh, no, I'm going to leave that open so I can grab the link. Sorry. And then it was written by Gabby Donnet. So they created this book, the Bauhaus Ballet, and she illustrated it. And here's just some of the work from the book. So you can see it has like pop-up elements. And then she has done a lot of illustration, and this is definitely in her style. And then it was Ross McAuley's idea to create sculptures based on the figures from her book, the Bauhaus Ballet, which was then inspired by the ballet from Oskar Schlemmer. And Ross McAuley's work, before you can see, is he is a portrait artist. But they both appreciated sort of the challenge of working together, and neither of them had necessarily experience in woodworking. And so they made themselves work with these very simple shapes. And that was kind of a fun creative constraint of creating sculptures with really basic shapes, and what would that look like? So their collaboration became these pretty awesome artworks that are using, basic wooden shapes in different ways. So you can see we've got like the ring, we've got spheres, we've got cones, we've got cubes, we've got semicircles, and they just put them together in a variety of different ways. So pretty cool. And so I'm going to click back over to her Instagram. Both his Instagram and her Instagram have a lot of these images. But you can see how cool they are. And I want one to show the size, but I'm kind of guessing the size, and I'm guessing wrong because look how big that is. Like to me, they seem kind of small. I guess I'm imagining like going to Michael's and getting like the little, the little bins where they have all those sort of shapes. But I guess maybe they have bigger, starting with bigger shapes. Because look at this one. Totally different than imagining them small, huh? Because small, they kind of look like toys. I mean, they look like toys big too, but it's really cool. And she said they live together and they have these out in their house, and it's really cool. So that's the artist today. I found it. I've been going through my art magazines, and then I found that one in High Fructose, and this is probably my favorite of the ones that I get because the art is just cool and weird and different. It's not sort of stuffy art world stuff. It's like really bold, dynamic, people pushing the envelope, people doing like really weird, cool stuff. So I really like High Fructose. Art, I think it's natural to find connections to art making with your students because it presents a sort of creative constraint to start with shapes. You could get those styrofoam ball. Oh gosh, I can't even talk about styrofoam without my skin crawling. I'm like, I would not do this because I cannot stand to be in the presence of styrofoam. But you get those foam balls at Michael's or wherever, and or you can get wood shapes if you have a contact that's kind of cheaper. I think this could be an expensive thing if you don't find the right supplier, but present the students with the challenge of these are your shapes that you have to work with. What can you create from it? And then inviting them to paint them and sharing this work as inspiration for that process. Super fun. That's what I would do. And then I think, if you're not a teacher, I like to share ways to connect with this. And I think with this, it's just to be delighted and to enjoy something fun and unusual, maybe follow their Instagram. I think also checking out this ballet and I think too, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, ideally I would think about this before just starting to talk, but that's where we're at right now. I think that it is a good thing to consider the creative constraints of working with less. I've noticed in my life, lately, I went through quite a long phase. Well, I think a lot of us are at this phase of it's so easy to fix all of our problems with buying something or getting something new or getting the perfect size bin for your organization system. And I'm addicted to bins. I have every size bin you can ever imagine. But I still buy new ones because I'm well, it's not the right one. And now I've been not allowing myself to buy new ones. I'm I can solve problems with what I have on hand. I don't have to go buy something new every single time. So it might be thinking about ways to simplify, thinking about ways to work with what you have, and think about that sort of thing. Even this week, I was coming in and my plants are struggling. You can't really see them that detailed, especially because right now I'm probably really small, but they're struggling. And there's one over there that's on its last leg. And I'm I think it might be time to just release these plants because they're adding this undue burden on my life. I come in and I'm feeling guilty about my plants. But then I'm I don't remember, I feel guilty, but then I also don't remember to water them. So it's this whole thing. Anyway, I don't know, for some reason, this art is bringing this up for me. And that's what I think is so fun about looking at art and connecting with it, is that the more you look at it, the more you think about it, the more you talk about it, especially when you're talking about it with someone else, it brings up things that you might not have expected it to bring up. It brings up part of your lives that you wouldn't expect. And it helps you get to know yourself better and others. So I will be running the Art Connection Circle again in the next season. So that will be coming. If that's something that you're interested in exploring, you can join the waitlist at artandself.com/circle. artandself.com/circle. How it's going to be, I haven't planned it yet, but it's on my list to do. But that's what happens. We just open up on artwork. I pick artworks that I know will lend themselves to a lot of discovery, like the ones that I've been showing this month. And what happens when you put it in front of a group of people and they talk about it, like you can't predict what's going to happen. I would have not predicted that I was going to start talking about like the stress that my guilt that my plants are giving me. So yeah, that's what it is. Art allows us sort of a window into parts of our lives that for deeper self-discovery. And if we allow it to do that, it's really powerful. So thank you for watching today. Thank you for enjoying this series this month and exploring these works of art with me. We only have one left on Monday. I will also announce the winners of the giveaway. I've picked the winners, but I haven't gone any farther beyond that. So y'all will get notified too in the coming days. So thank you so much. I will see you on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.